And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing.
No, bro, I know Crawford, and he's different. And see, the only thing different here is Canelo is not a bigger guy at that weight. He's not like he's standing 6'1", 6'2" like before.
Terence Crawford been amazing with everything that he's done. So
Floyd Mayweather has issued a bold warning to Canelo Alvarez after spending time training with Terence Crawford. He declared that Canelo is easy work and reminded fans that he defeated him while nearing 40 years of age. Mayweather also took aim at what he sees as ongoing disrespect toward American fighters, arguing that Canelo is far from unbeatable and not as fearsome as many make him out to be.
You take a guy like Canelo, this guy can do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/.
Jeff Mayweather views Terence Crawford as a once-in-a-generation talent, someone with the rare skill to move up in weight and still dominate. He believes very few fighters can rise through divisions and take on someone like Canelo Alvarez, but Crawford is built for it. Jeff highlights Crawford's style, discipline, and high ring IQ as qualities that set him apart. While he acknowledges Canelo's power and experience, he sees Crawford as the more complete fighter, both technically and mentally. In Jeff's eyes, Crawford won't just hold his own. He'll outclass Canelo.
All right, Jeff, looks like we got a fight coming up in the fall here between Terence Crawford and Canelo. A fight that's been talked about a long time. Initial thoughts on the potential of this fight?
Great fight, two great fighters. I think that moving up two weight classes is kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win, and take advantage of Canelo's mistakes.
Shannon Briggs offers a personal take, reflecting on having watched Terence Crawford since his early years. He says, seeing Crawford prepare for a fight of this magnitude is emotional, and firmly believes Crawford won't just win, he'll stop Canelo. Drawing from his own experience, Briggs emphasizes Crawford's laser-sharp focus and the incredible progress he's made over the years. For Briggs, this bout isn't just another major fight. It's the peak of a long journey, one that he believes will end with a powerful, statement-making victory.
Did you make of all the pushing, the shoving, the build-up, the anticipation, the weight differences too?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. I got Crawford by stoppage, and I've known him since he was a little kid, 12 years old. So to see him now fighting for a title in such a big fight, it's a great experience, great to see.
Last question for me then. How do you think Crawford stops him? How do you think he's able to work Canelo enough for him to stop the fight, drop, knock him down? How do you think this is possible by Crawford style?
He gonna box him. He can fight both ways. He gonna trick him up. One thing Canelo showed is that he can be outboxed. But I think this time in the late rounds, I think Crawford gonna have something for him.
Shannon, always good to see you, my friend.
You're the best, champ. Let's go, champ.
Al Bernstein provides a more analytical perspective, suggesting that Crawford's jump in weight may not be as intimidating as it appears. He notes that Canelo is no longer the explosive powerhouse he was 5 years ago, pointing to age, accumulated wear and tear, and changes in his fighting style as factors that have diminished his edge. In Bernstein's view, the current version of Canelo is vulnerable, and a disciplined, technically sharp fighter like Crawford could be the one to expose. it.
Weight for Crawford to go up to. He started below 147, obviously, as a fighter, so he's going pretty far up in weight. Now, Canelo himself was a 154-pounder, so, you know, he went all the way up to 168, but there's a little difference there. And I think that that's a big issue. Now, whether that's enough to make it impossible for Crawford to win this fight, that remains to be seen. This is a different Canelo Alvarez. It's not the same one from 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, or even 3. So there's that. And then there's all the different eccentricities of each boxer. For Crawford, he's not going to hurt Canelo. But Canelo, almost nobody hurts Canelo. He's got a rock chin. But can Crawford, who isn't always a volume puncher, make sure that if he's being the boxer puncher, he throws enough punches to win every round? Right. That's important. Right. And for Canelo, if he doesn't hurt Terence Crawford, which he might, can he sustain in those later rounds where we've seen Canelo Alvarez from time to time just fade a little bit? Crawford's a very good fighter into the later rounds. You know, we saw him stop Porter, and we've seen him have other excellent performances. So, you know, there's a lot of those questions swirling around. But right now, I don't know if I could pick either guy, really. I would have said Canelo Alvarez before.
Crawford's style is built on finesse, precision, and remarkable adaptability. Whether switching between orthodox or southpaw, his mastery of distance and timing stands out. He systematically breaks down opponents, exploiting their patterns and mistakes with surgical efficiency. Facing a dangerous puncher like Canelo, known for his power and sharp timing, Crawford's ability to control the tempo and avoid risky exchanges becomes his greatest asset. He's not just talented, he's a thinking fighter, sharp and strategic in every move.
Somebody whose style is based around being the bigger guy, being the stronger guy. But Crawford is a very cerebral, very technical boxer, and I think that's why I'd never really considered this before. But also, I didn't actually realize until I sat down properly and thought about this, just how much weight Crawford has been piling on when he gets into the ring after the weigh-in. And look, these are not numbers that are out of the ordinary, but he's obviously cutting himself down so much in camp from whatever his walking around weight is. And it must be muscle that he's taking off. And perhaps that's why he's only fighting once a year, because there will be some fat, of course there will be, but the dude is not overweight. The dude still looks pretty ripped from what I've seen when he's not in training camp. However, there's not that many photos of him with his top off when he's not actually in training camp. So it's really hard to tell what his body composition is when he's walking around at these big weights. But the fact is, his fight night weight was 169 let's just call it 170 pounds.
The leap from 147 to 168 pounds is no small feat, but Crawford is tackling it with calculated purpose. Whether it's seen as a 2 or 3 division jump, what's undeniable is that no fighter has ever become undisputed in 3 separate weight classes. Crawford is chasing history. His physical transformation reflects more than just added mass. He's sculpting his body for peak performance. His elite conditioning proves he's not merely bulking up. He's evolving to a whole new level.
69 let's just call it 170 pounds, which is huge, absolutely huge for a 154 pounder. Especially, it's just shocked me that he's come up from 135 and now he's still putting on that much weight. He's rehydrating that much at 154. And indeed, to bring us even closer to the modern day, the thing that was posted, and again, this is the second time we've seen this, is why I'm kind of thinking there's a bit of a theme here with Crawford posting his weight when he's not actually in full training camp. On February the 9th, 2025, he posted an Instagram story, and he showed himself weighing 186 pounds on a gym scale. Now, that's so much bigger than I imagined Crawford would be. I never thought this guy would walk around at 186 pounds. Which for anyone who needs the conversion is just over 84 kilograms. And now look, it's not an unthinkable weight for someone, but for someone who has fought as low as Crawford has, who is generally as lean and as in shape as Crawford is, that's a lot of weight. I've tried to find photos of Crawford from around that time, and I can't really dig anything out to show you what he was looking like at that weight. But that's pretty big. And there was a bit of a joke in the Piers Morgan interview I noticed and I clocked where Piers asked him what he was weighing right now. He said, I weigh 155 pounds. And I just thought to myself, there's absolutely no chance. Why would he bulk up and then in the space of just over 4 months cut the best part of 31 pounds? Like, that makes no sense. So he was definitely joking about that, just like he was joking about only earning 10 million for this fight. So when he fights Canelo, he's going to be at the super middleweight limit, which is 168 pounds. So when you look at that, you sort of go, okay, that's an 18-pound weight cut, which is not bad at all. But 186 is his walking around weight. So what will his weight be that he actually cuts from to make 168?
David Benavidez has never held back, and his recent accusation against Canelo, hinting at possible steroid use, has stirred fresh controversy. He says there's no doubt in his mind, casting suspicion over Canelo's physical dominance. While unproven, the claim adds fuel to ongoing skepticism surrounding Canelo's conditioning and performance, especially as he grows older and faces opponents like Crawford, fighters who may be lighter but bring superior technical skill to the ring.
He was 100% confident in himself. I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got off
You think he's on steroids?
Of course.
Sure.
How does five...
You saw De La Hoya
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. All those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
In the lead up to the fight, Crawford has shown a noticeably intense demeanor. During the face-off, he physically shoved Canelo, a bold message that he's not fazed by the bigger name or the heavier opponent. Analysts like Showbiz the Adult see this as a glimpse into a more aggressive, fearless version of Crawford. He's not just moving up in weight, he's elevating his mindset. Crawford is aiming to assert psychological dominance before the first punch is even thrown.
And Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below. We're in the zone, war room.
Antonio Tarver stresses that weight alone won't decide the outcome of this fight. He downplays the notion that Canelo's size makes him an overwhelming threat, pointing out that skill will matter more than pounds. Tarver believes if the sharp, motivated Canelo who beat Caleb Plant shows up, he'll be competitive. But if the slower, more calculated version enters the ring, Crawford will find the openings and take full control.
About this before, Crawford and Canelo.
Bud County.
You're a fighter who's moved up right in weight and won fights. So what is it that what questions in your mind as the smaller fighter moving up and in the ring are you trying to ask yourself in the ring? What questions are you kind of like?
No, bro, I know Crawford, and he's different. And see, the only thing different here is Canelo is not a bigger guy at that weight. He's not like he's standing 6'1", 6'2", like Bivol or one of those guys. So on fight night, the size is not going to be the main thing, the most important thing. It's going to be skill set. And both of them coming with their skill set. But what I haven't seen lately is the opponents that Canelo is facing. Those guys aren't going to get him ready for a guy like Crawford. So Canelo is going to have to go back to that grind and turn back the hands of times too. Because if he show up like he did against Skull, he show up like he did against Benavidez, not Benavidez, but Berlanga, and the other guy. What's the other guy name? Munguia. Bro, those guys, he didn't have enough activity. The last time I saw Canelo that would beat, I think, this Crawford was Plant. Now, that Canelo come cutting the ring, all throwing combination to the head and to the body, active. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a hell of a fight. You know what I mean? And I still think I give Crawford a chance even then. So that's what type of talent I think Crawford is. He's definitely going to have to get used to that power.
Marcus Brown shuts down any idea that Crawford fears Canelo's power. He reveals that Crawford regularly spars with much bigger fighters, some with heavyweight builds, so taking heavy shots is nothing new for him. According to Brown, Crawford isn't just ready for the power, he's used to it. That kind of experience in the gym matters, and Brown believes it will be evident in the ring when Crawford remains calm and composed under pressure.
Both of them, I like both of them. I'm a fan of both of them, but I'm going with Crawford. Typically fighters, they don't want to say who they want to go for because they don't want to be biased.
Yeah.
And much respect to Canelo, but I'm going Bud.
Is there a particular reason why? Like, you're a guy that's moved up in weight, so you know exactly what it feels like to get hit by these bigger guys. Is that something that's going to play in the back of his head? Like,
of course,
gotta watch out.
It is, but it's not. Because at the end of the day, it's not like he just been in there, got in there with somebody bigger than him. He's always probably been sparring with bigger guys. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's that boxing IQ, which William Skull didn't put up no fight, but he showed somewhat of a blueprint to get this guy, in a space where he's confused.
Yeah.
And he can't touch the target that's in front of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think Bud got that IQ.
Jose Benavidez keeps it simple but powerful. Terence Crawford is a beast. Coming from one fighter to another, that's high praise. Regardless of any past rivalries or competitive tension, Benavidez sees Crawford as the superior warrior. In this showdown, he's confident Crawford will rise to the occasion and leave no question about who the better man is. Still, some fans and analysts express concern about Crawford's ability to withstand Canelo's power. With knockout wins over hard hitters like Edgar Berlanga, Canelo's punching strength is undeniable. The fear is that if one of those heavy shots lands clean, even a fighter as skilled as Crawford could be in trouble. These questions add to the suspense, setting the stage for a classic clash: precision versus power, timing versus toughness.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. That could be a difference in the fight. Because obviously, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a feel the power. I'm a feel that size difference, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, we'll just all know that, hey, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not, he's testing himself. He's testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him. I don't got no doubt in my mind. He's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, and I don't think nothing's going to phase him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So he just got to go in there, just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size and, obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys, So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
One common criticism aimed at Crawford is the lack of elite names on his resume. Even Canelo questioned whether Crawford has truly faced top-tier opposition. But Crawford's response was clear and confident. Canelo will be his first elite challenge. And that's intentional. He spent years carefully building his record, and now he's stepping into the ultimate proving ground. This fight isn't just about titles. It's about legacy, and Crawford is ready to define his.
This is why people are disliking Canelo. He's a 2-time undisputed champ, and people are quick to say he doesn't want to fight people. He's ducking people. He's only fighting easy fighters. That's the reason why he keeps winning. Well, let's look at his resume. 23-0, 22-0, 43-0, 35-1, 32-5, 42-1, 19-0, 21-0, 30-0. If these people were so easy, haven't they lost prior to fighting Canelo? When Canelo asked him, who have you fought? Crawford couldn't even name one person that was a great fighter. So why don't fans say that about Crawford? The truth is that when someone wins too much and they keep winning over and over again, that's when people want to see you lose. Why do you think they always bring up the Bivol fight? Do you realize that he moved up in weight to light heavyweight to fight their best champion? Canelo's fighting easy people. Well, it's different when you make it look easy. Canelo has been fighting all these people, and when he wins, he makes it look easy. And people are quick to judge and say, well, he's only fighting easy fighters. But you're not seeing him train. You don't know how many hours he's investing into his training daily. It's easy for you to say outside the ring. Do you realize before he became undisputed, every single person he had to beat had a world title? They had a title for a reason. So he was picking and choosing, I need to fight this champion and beat them all. But what are your honest thoughts? Do you truly believe Crawford has what it takes to finally dethrone Canelo? But don't forget to follow for more news and finance information. God bless.
Veteran broadcaster Jim Gray provides a balanced perspective, recognizing Crawford's all-around brilliance, his undefeated record and dominance in every division he's entered. At the same time, he gives due respect to Canelo, calling him Mexico's greatest active fighter. For Gray, this matchup is a true 50-50 battle, an elite showdown where both men's legacies will face their ultimate test.
And Canelo and Crawford, who do you expect to be just a little greater on September 13th?
You know, it's so hard to tell, but the bigger man, I mean, I don't want to get hit by Canelo ever. And when you've weighed so much less, I mean, I don't know what Terence will come into the ring, but you know, he's coming up in weight significantly, and, you know, that seems to me would favor Canelo. By the other token, you know, Terence Crawford's been amazing with everything that he's done. So I can't pick a winner. If I did that, I'd just run into the casino right now and bet and wouldn't even look at the fight and then just go cash my ticket. But I don't know. When you start predicting these things, you're going to be, nobody knows. And anybody who tells you they know, they're just BSing you.
Do you consider Canelo even a little greater than Chavez, who you interviewed and covered?
I do.
Why is that?
It's harder to win now.